Good morning.
Well, good morning, Dr. Acula. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Just had a 32-ounce cold brew, popped a Zen, just the thinking man's diet. You don't eat
Nice.
any food with this. It doesn't really make you lose weight either, but it makes you nice and jittery and a little bit paranoid.
So that's why I'm acting the way I am, because I've been drinking Red Bull, okay, and then I got a Zen too. And look, I got these crazy colorful flavors. I've got yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue flavor.
Yellow and blue. Yeah, dude, that's my favorite combo.
Oh man, so still been since Tuesday. I guess it's been a little bit more of the same in the market. We pumped a little, we dumped a little. Nothing really like super exciting though. We're still kind of in limbo, as we were discussing.
Speak for yourself, buddy. Speak for yourself, man.
I mean, I got liquidated once or twice. Made some money. Got liquidated once or twice. You know, it's the way of the chop when you're trying to exist in the chop zone.
See, I got in. After Hyperliquid carved out another nice chunk of my flesh at the very bottom, I got in and I'm sitting cozy, dude, because sitting at 37 cents is beautiful for me compared to where I was, which was poor and alone at 32 earlier. So I'm feeling good.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how Fantom can be so volatile. And you'll have these days where like everything's pumping and Fantom is the only red thing. And then it's the opposite, because for these last 2 days, everything's been kind of bleeding out a little, but Fantom has been, moving up. So maybe there's some kind of lesson in there. Maybe, when everything. No, I wouldn't actually recommend what I was about to say. I was going to say when everything's red, maybe you should long Fantom, but that's actually terrible advice. So don't take that. But,
yeah, that's a risky bet, buddy. I was gonna say I think it's Michael Kong, dude. I think Michael Kong's behind this. I think I've seen him post on Twitter, and he posted this here, a screenshot of a chat here. And I think this got the people really excited. Just the opportunity, the possibility that they might be able to see some nudes, something berserk.
I got to give Michael Kong some credit. Everybody's saying, Andre, please tweet. For the love of God, can Andre tweet? He won't tweet. So Michael Kong, pushed up his sleeves, said, it's time to make a splash. I'm going to post nudes on X.
Yeah, he's really stepping up his Twitter game. I don't know if he took a course or what, but it's going well for him, dude. I need whatever he's sipping on.
Yeah.
That's right, Sonic Turtle. Michael Kong, more like Michael King.
Agreed. So yeah, we do got a banger today. We're excited to have Owen from Spooky Swap here. We've been kind of waiting for this. We were gonna have him on a little ways back, but they were kind of like, hey, why don't we wait a little while? We got some big things in the works. I thought in my head, sure, everybody's got big things in the works, right? But then they dropped that insane roadmap this week. So excited to go over that. We're going to bring him up in a second. Was just going to look at the chart real fast, just since, like I said, we've just been kind of in limbo. Um, you know, weekly charts with wicks like this are that's pretty ugly. But on the upside, it means that we probably have big moves coming. So let's hope that the big move that is coming is one that bumps us up over this resistance. Because right now, I don't love the way this weekly is going. So a big weekly close this Sunday, like a really big weekly close, I think it'll kind of tell us, are we going to continue kind of trending down momentarily, or do we have a chance to break through here? Macro is still not great right now, but there was some CPI news. There's been some good news with like the CPI. They were under their inflation target. So the chatter is that now in September, it's all but confirmed there will be a rate cut, which should be bullish for the market. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Like I said, it's a really big close Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be a big Sunday. It's going to be a big Sunday. It's like Super Bowl Sunday here, but for Bitcoin heads, dude. Super Bitcoin Sunday.
Super Bitcoin Sunday. That's right. You will find out Sunday, 8 p.m. EST, if you are going to make it or not.
Yeah, so whales out there, I want you to really consider Dracula's feelings on this matter this Sunday when you're deciding whether or not you're going to destroy the market and millions and billions of lives. You're also going to be deciding whether or not Dracula has a nice, fun vacation or not.
That's right. I go on vacation next week. I need you to go to Coinbase, go to Kraken, whatever centralized exchange you enjoy, and go to Bitcoin, press the green button, move the slider to 100% to put your entire cash portfolio in there, and I need you to buy, okay? This trip is not just gonna, money doesn't grow on trees. I need Bitcoin to go up desperately.
You and me both, brother. Not that I have a lot of Bitcoin. I should. If anyone out there wants to donate Bitcoin to me, I'd take it. I wouldn't refuse it. But
So, like I said, Bitcoin, nothing super exciting right now. That's the weekly. We always like to check Bitcoin because it kind of just leads the market still. However, Fantom chart, look at that. We got back above resistance. I'd say that's big news, especially with how the markets behaved this week. I think I guess it was probably Tuesday, we were right under it still, and I was saying, hey, I hope we're going to break through that. So that's good news. I mean, like I said, we always kind of got to watch what Bitcoin's doing, what the macro's doing. But all in all, when Bitcoin is kind of going sideways, that's usually a decent opportunity for alts. And even though Ethereum, the godforsaken token, has still been performing pretty bad, it's been nice to see like Fantom perform well. So I like this chart right now. It's not terrible. Now, same thing. Let's just hope that we can kind of hold this area here. Maybe we get some more good news. Another, war doesn't break out, and we're back on the incline.
Yeah, I mean, I pray that war doesn't break out, not just for my tokens, but also for my dollars as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to hope for that. And I think really what everyone's waiting for. Look who's here. Oh,
hey guys. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man. Super excited to have you here.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be here. It's like you said, it's been a long time coming. I think we were talking about this. Man, I don't even know. It's a long time ago. I'm just glad I'm finally here and I can drop all the news I've got. So,
dude, we've been dying to hear it. I've got people in my DMs all the time, and they're asking me, "What's going on with Spooky? What's happening with Spooky?" And it's like, I'm Corval, dude. You're looking for Owen, bro. And we finally got him.
You got this cat hanging around on the stream all the time. Everybody just assumes you're like a a Boo ambassador.
Yeah, we're gonna put the rumors to rest now. Finally, I am not in fact Owen P. This is Owen P here. Lots of people on cats.
Yeah, so I was gonna pull up, like I said at the beginning of the show, you know, you had said you had some stuff cooking, but I don't think anyone could have imagined that you were gonna drop this insane. Look at this roadmap. It just keeps going. There's all kinds of stuff on here. I guess one of the biggest things, just to kind of start going through it. So it looks to me, well, not looks to me because I've also seen it explained, but so Boo is going to officially kind of go like multi-chain with like layer 0 as an OFT token. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been talking about this internally for, I would say, over a year. Just kind of what should we do with Boo, because we've been looking at doing like kind of multi-chain deployments for a long time, and it's just things have been held back mainly because of with what happened to multi-chain last summer, which affected some of our affected our subgraph and kind of just made us hold back and do some internal fixing, and also just the market in general. Just the market conditions just weren't good. So it's been something we've been working on for a long time. Kind of an internal fight too is just do we go with this OFT? There's been concerns with the dangers about bridging and that kind of thing. I'm really happy with how Layer 0 is doing this and the security issue with it. I think crypto is a multi-chain thing. I was kind of a Fantom maxi for forever. And I still really am a Fantom maxi. But crypto's a huge space, and there's all these different chains, and there's new chains all the time. And if you're not willing to embrace multi-chain as a project, you're really going to live and die with whatever chain you're with. So, and the same thing with the token. Boo was launched on Fantom, and because of multi-chain, we have Boo tokens that are forever lost on Ethereum, right? So this whole OFT thing using Layer 0, we're really happy with it. We're working on the contracts right now, and so that is what we're going to do with Boo.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: will it be a fresh deployment, or will it be more like a conversion? How some tokens can kind of just use the OFT standard to start bridging to other chains?
Yeah. So we're going to do a new contract on Ethereum. The idea is that we're starting with this fresh token on mainnet that we expect will always be around. Ethereum's probably going to be around as long as crypto's around. So we're going to launch it as a new contract, and then we'll launch the contracts on whatever chains we want Boo to be bridgeable to. So whichever. Obviously Sonic, other chains as well. But yeah, we're gonna launch it as a new contract. The max supply is not going to be any different or anything like that, and we're going to basically have a conversion on our front end where you can convert your Boo directly to this new Boo token. It's going to be called Boo. I in my roadmap, I think I say it new Boo. I was just trying to differentiate between Boo and this new Boo. It's similar to what QuickSwap did. They had a not completely similar, but they had their Quick token, and they just wanted to change the tokenomics on it. So they came out with a Quick token, and they called it. And I think CoinGecko calls it New Quick versus Old Quick, but it's still called Quick.
Okay. Well, that's good news. I think it's a great idea, especially to work with the Layer 0 standard. It's kind of like you said. We're still not in that place where people can just work on a front end and there's actually things with like multiple chains happening in the background. But I think ultimately that's where we'll be in the future at some point, is apps probably even maybe using multiple chains for multiple things, multiple functions. So it's a good idea to get set up like that. So you say you're deploying the 6 new chains, and based on the roadmap, it's kind of like almost like starting in September. It's like almost every month you have like a new chain being deployed. Are you able to give any alpha on what other chains you're going to?
Yeah, well, so the 6 new chains, it says September. It might be next week. I mean, we're doing some testing on it right now. We've kind of been ready to do it for a little while, and that's essentially going to be, hey, this is Spooky Swap. We're deploying on new chains, and then what we're going to have is, as we roll out new technology, like we have our perpetuals or Launchpad, that kind of thing, they'll be added on to these as a service on those chains. So yeah, Spooky Swap, and it's going to be launching on when those 6 chains that are mentioned. Like Ethereum is going to be one of them, right? I mean, that's going to be obvious. And then it's the other main chains that everyone knows. That's kind of what we're doing with the Spooky brand. So if you look at Sushi Swap, I think it's on 36 chains or something like that. I mean, I guess what we're providing is we're a known brand. I mean, I go to conferences and talk to people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Spooky Swap. I used you so much. We did $1 billion in a day. We were like a top 3 to 5 volume DEX at one point. So everyone kind of knows us as a brand. So we want to provide that brand on more chains, and just kind of like spread our brand out beyond just Fantom. I mean, to go along with that, I mean, obviously this is Sonic talk and Fantom's. I mean, Sonic's the old Fantom or whatever. They would say, "Oh yeah, you're Spooky Swap, man. I loved using you. You're on Fantom. Is that still? Is that still working? Is that still on?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, actually it is. Have you heard about Sonic?" And I'd have that kind of discussion.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that for the Spooky team and for all of our boo holders that we do everything we can to ensure their success, and just staying on Fantom isn't I don't think is the best option for that, because we do have this brand that's really well known. So yeah, those 6 chains, those aren't new chains. Those are ones you'll be aware of, and it could be next week. We're testing it.
Wow.
So
Okay, well that's serious. Yeah, I mean, like we've kind of kicked around a little bit. It's I feel like this run coming up will probably be more so dominated by apps than chains, right? I mean, you look at Hyperliquid as an example. The joke right now is basically that Arbitrum is a bridge to get your money on the Hyperliquid. I think this run, the focus will probably be more on the actual apps themselves, So, you kind of taking Spooky as like a brand, that makes sense, where, you can be on multiple chains, but the focus is on the actual, the token, the brand itself, right? So I think it's a good move, and what's the worst thing that could happen? It'll bring some eyes to, Fantom in the interim, or Sonic, in the future. So yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I'm also seeing here perpetuals in September.
Yeah. So we have a partner that has a best-in-class perpetuals that we're going to integrate into our front end, essentially. So yeah, that's something we're going to supply. When I have right there, I mean, I don't want to skip on this. I have new DEX deployment above that, and so we do have a new DEX deployment planned for September, and we're planning on having that perpetuals at the same time. So that's something that we'll roll out, and then we'll have available. I don't know if it's going to be available on Fantom. Maybe. It'll definitely 100% be on Sonic. It's just whether we want to focus on. I mean, Fantom as an ecosystem's kind of. I use the term being deprecated. I mean, I know Fantom's going to be supported here on out, but we all have our eyes on Sonic, right? So
Yeah.
Whether that'll be the case, I'm not sure, but yeah, this is a perpetuals that'll have 90%, 90 to 95% of what you can do on Binance, all the same assets, all of that stuff. It's super nice. So we're excited about having that.
So are you kind of saying that you might have kind of like a separate product for this, kind of like it'll be like separate branding, or will it still be kind of like under Spooky? I mean, because I also see something about staking for airdrop.
Yes.
So is that kind of tied into this other product, or is the airdrop like a Boo airdrop?
Yeah. I heard someone say, or I saw someone say, "Hey, anytime I see staking, I think bad. I think selling." And I want to make it clear that we're not going to mint additional Boo. The supply of Boo is not going to increase. If anything, it's going to go. This new Boo token will have a lower supply because, like I said, there's Boo forever lost on Ethereum, and there's dead wallets all over the place. So the supply of Boo that's been converted will be lower than the current supply, and we're not going to be airdropping Boo. No. Trader Joe did something on Mantle. I guess last year they launched their Mantle Mo is what they called it. And it's I guess what it was is a very obvious fork of Trader Joe.
Friendly fork.
Yeah. I mean, I've been talking to Chains for a long time and using the term friendly fork. No, when I say a new DEX deployment, I'm specifically meaning a new brand that is that's we're not hiding the fact that that's related to Spooky Swap, and I think we talk to so many chains that want our team. They're like, we want you guys to launch not just Spooky. Everyone wants a new token. That's what chains want because that's what people get hyped about.
Yeah, fresh deployment, new token. Yeah, that's what everybody.
But they want a team that's not going to just leave. Just I don't want to say rug the project, but essentially launch it and disappear. Which that happens a lot on all these chains. So that's what they want from us. And we've gotten to the point to where we've done all this work on code, and we're almost ready to the point to where we can launch what we feel are friendly forks that we will then maintain to the top standard of what we're doing with our Spooky brand. So it's kind of the code. People say you don't want to spread yourself too thin. What about how can you handle multiple dexes, and the code's going to be the same. I mean, the front end will look different, but the hardest part has been the work we've done in the last year, and what we're kind of doing right now. We're getting really close to the finish line. Well, that's all the hard work.
Yeah, and of course, and I've discussed this on the show before that meme tokens in terms of development are such like a low barrier of entry, but the exchange is that you have to have something happening every single day. You're having to grind. You're having to give out new news, partnerships, apps, whatever, to keep your token relevant. One nice thing about DeFi is, yes, it takes a lot more grinding up front, but once your product's done and you put it in the wild and it's working and all the bugs are, resolved, it just exists, right? Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that I think maybe people get not confused, but when they get concerned about this, I think they also need to realize that at the end of the day, it's code and it's all running decentralized. And, for something like a DEX, you could have multiple deployments and still kind of keep watch of everything. And it's not really, I mean, it's more work, of course, but it's not the same as like, I can't put in like a certain amount of focus to like one side of it. It's all, especially when they're forks, it's similar code. You probably just need to keep marketing up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, the grind's more upfront. So yeah, I guess you guys are about to finally see the fruits of your labor here if you've been grinding for over a year.
Yeah, 100%. And so we're looking at two two chains here in the next 2 months that we're super hyped about. I mean, one has an incredibly huge following. They were talking to me over a year ago wanting us to deploy on them, and I always thought that there wouldn't be enough time. I'm like, oh, we're not going to be done in time, and I actually disregarded the whole idea, but they delayed their schedule, and so now we're looking at deploying on them in September when their mainnet goes live, and then another one that is that is also they're both EVM, but one is going. Well, let's say one's a BTC layer 2 that we're super hyped about. That's going to be launching. I actually put some. I put a couple of hints in the roadmap, but you kind of have to like look really closely.
I was going to ask: can you scroll up a little bit, Dracula, on this roadmap here? Is this a hint here? Is this Japanese?
Yeah, it's katakana. Yeah, it's a hint. But there's a hint, and then there's maybe like an image in there that's hard to see. But
Corval, you're fluent, right? Can you translate that for the show?
No. I can't even pretend to be fluent. I'm not that's bad improv. I'm supposed to yes, and that says.
Is this like a stain on my monitor, or am I kind of making it out here?
That's actually a ghost cat. So that's not the hint. There's another hint in there, but yeah. So we're super hyped about that. They've got an insane amount of usage. And I talked to so many developers, and they're like, "Man, we're building for this chain." I'll release news soon. I got to keep something.
Oh, I thought you were about to say I'll release it now. I was like,
I think this is a good challenge. If you can decipher,
it's easy.
Would you confirm, like, would you confirm if I DM'd you? Would you confirm if it was the right?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Right? Yeah. That way you can just say I know and no one else knows. Yeah, sure.
Okay. If anyone in the audience can decipher it, DM it to me, and I'll confirm with Owen. And if we'll share the spoils, dude.
Yeah. So to clarify, so we'll be launching a new chain. I mean, a new DEX. You will be able to bridge your BOO to that DEX. We'll probably incentivize farming for BOO. And we'll offer basically stake your BOO, and you'll get this new farm token. So that's essentially how the airdrop is going to work. As I understand it right now, that's how I would plan it. Could be a little different, but that would be the same thing in October. We would be looking to basically reward our BOO holders that bridge over and want to participate.
Okay, so I think so I got it because I'm putting the pieces together here. So yeah, you're saying it'll probably be like a kind of like a BOO friendly fork, similar to how Trader Joe has Merchant Mo. And then people will be able to farm their BOO to get this new token.
Yeah, we also we're talking about how we're going to do fees, and it's possible that Spooky had ridiculously low fees on Fantom. I mean, it created a lot of volume, which was great. It gave the team nothing. The team got none of the fees, which I think was probably a mistake. But XBOO got, just to clarify, the fees were 0.2%, and XBOO got 0.03%. So a really small amount actually. And I think with these new DEXs, we're going to have a higher fee than that, and we might give. There's talk about, let's say, if we did a small percentage of the fees on these new DEXs, and then bridge that money over to the staked BOO on Ethereum, let's say. So we're still talking about that. It's not 100% that's going to happen, but I think internally the idea is that let's say you stake BOO on ETH, and it receives fees from all these other chain deployments, and you get paid in ETH or stables or something like that.
Well, can I have one of these friendly forks to run?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, just give me one, bro. Can I have one, please? Give it to me.
I've got a chain that's asking me right now, and I'm like ghosting the guy.
Man, tell him it's not me. I'll handle it.
I'm like, hey man, you want to handle this? You can run it.
He's a hot commodity, dude. All these chains want you.
Yeah, it is. It
So,
is.
go ahead, Corbel.
I wanted to ask, so we kind of talked about it a little bit, but like, what do you think is like going to be the heaviest lift here with these like friendly forks? Is it like Dracula's saying, it's like code, so it kind of just runs on its own?
Yeah,
Little maybe
that's
it's going to be marketing. Maybe is going to be
yeah.
the biggest.
That's a great question. I mean, really, it's the heavy lifting is the BD work and the community management type work. Once you have it going, I mean, that took up so much of my time when Spooky was hot. And so I've been spending the last 7 months or whatever training some people just to kind of understand how we manage the BD side of things and community management. And I think part of the thing that's been the challenge is we haven't had a lot of we've been trying to hold our money tight. We haven't been paying people to do community management with a new token on these forks. You'll be able to incentivize people to help out with some of the BD work, but it's really
the nice part about the bull market is I remember last run, it's just like, yeah, sure, here's a bunch of money every week to manage the Discord, the Telegram, it's no problem. But yeah, in the bear market everything tightens up.
yeah.
So yeah, and you'll be able to incentivize people to help with that, so that's good. So I was gonna point out here, still just kind of going, because like there's so much stuff on this roadmap, it's crazy. So I see here October, you're talking about a launch pad and Grimm's Emporium. What are those products?
Yeah, Grimm's Emporium's a secret. I can't say anything about that. But the launch pad, let's just say let's pump up the fun, baby. Let's just do that. That's what I'll say about that.
Another cryptic riddle, but that one's pretty that one's not too hard to figure out. So that's
no, I wouldn't think so. No.
I mean, especially when you see like what Pump.Fun 1.4 million a day or something in fees generated.
Yeah, that's something I've talked to these chains, and that's what they see. They see the volume that's created by that. I think a lot of that is just the same teams just creating their own meme tokens, and then just I don't want to say like wash trading them or something, but I think
we're not going to say wash trading, but they are cleaning the money somehow.
Yeah, I don't. It's questionable. But I think I would not. As a DEX, we want to make sure anything we launch, we're 100% confident in the team that's done it. That's I think something that's been the hardest thing about development is you have to work with people you trust. I don't want to ever work with developers that you have no idea of what they've inserted or have you can't trust them with their key or what have you. So that's been the hardest thing, and having partners that you like we would not want to refer our users to an unreliable DApp. So that's why we're looking at doing it ourselves. So
right on. No, it's perfect because you guys. Sorry, I was just gonna glaze him here a little bit. I was gonna say that's excellent because I think Spooky has like an incredible like brand reputation, brand equity, as they call it in marketing. Because as you mentioned, everyone knows Spooky, everyone loves Spooky, and everyone's always asking where's Spooky. So I think this is great because now it's going to be Spookies everywhere, baby.
I was just gonna say I noticed, it's kind of like you're hitting all the metas here.
No, there's no AI in there, but I think that's
no AI. But I'm guessing the Spooky buy bot. I'm guessing that's like a Telegram bot, right? Or
yeah. So I think that's if we're doing all these deployments and on all these different chains, I think having a bot that's available to our users, I think is just something that we should do. It's pretty simple to do. It's just something we should have. I've talked to people that do their own buy bots, and again, I want anything that we're promoting to be something that we can trust and have control over. So So I think that's important. I mean, if we're launching on a new chain that's related to our ecosystem, we want to be reliable and sure. I mean, buy bots do a ton of volume. If users want to use a buy bot, let them use a buy bot. You know, if they want to use a Telegram bot to purchase their tokens, by all means, we'll provide it. So
yeah, and getting down here to like November, December, I'm interested on Spooky LST. Now, is that like a wrapper for Boo, or is it more like you're gonna put out like, you know, LSTs for like Ethereum, Sonic, that kind of stuff?
yeah, so that's looking at doing a liquid staking token on Sonic. We're talking to a couple of people.
Nice.
So that would be something that I out of anything on this roadmap, that's the one I'm like least 100% certain about, because we're talking to some partners about it. I think we would like to do it, but it's still. I mean, November, December, it really isn't that far away. But man, it feels like it's a year away. So, and that's all related to it's Sonic, right? If Sonic gets delayed to next year, I've already heard. Well, I don't know what you guys have heard. If it's delayed for any reason, that spooky deployment is obviously related to Sonic. Yeah. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome, man. I was gonna pull up this other post, but I believe we've probably just about covered all of this here.
Actually, you haven't. You missed something really big right there. So if you go back to the roadmap, there's this big thing on the right side. It says V4. You didn't ask anything about that. What's going on?
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I was so busy going. Like I said, the roadmap's so like dense that it didn't even touch on V4. That's crazy. And you had told me about this. I guess it was like when I saw you at Consensus.
Yeah. We were talking to a lot of. I had one of my developers that's been designing this thing since last year, and we talked to a lot of people there at Consensus about our V4, and we're super hyped about it. I have it kind of siloed here because I just want to make sure everyone understands that it might be a partner of Spooky Swaps rather than an actual Spooky branded product, because of how we're going to release it. It's going to be, it is a, I was talking about security and everything. It is it's a novel thing. No one's ever seen it before. It's going to be completely novel code. So we're going to be careful about how we launch it. So we might have that separation that it's not, hey, this is, Grimm's something. It's probably going to be separate, but we'll be like its initial partner. We're super excited about that. It's an absolutely multi-chain product. It'll partner with all our DEXs and pretty much a lot of the big DeFi projects in crypto in general. So we're super hyped about that. I would be speaking out of turn if I tried to describe it too much, but I'll just leave it at that. It is something that's coming. We are working on the UI right now, so we're looking for probably alpha in October is what I'm shooting for.
Well, maybe without explaining too much. So, in terms of it being novel, is it due to the DEX part of it, or is it more like novel in its approach for like farming and staking? Is it like concentrated liquidity?
Yeah, it's like I would describe it as like a VE DAO with wallet abstraction, and it basically would consume any other DeFi. So you would be able to use this to interact with all DeFi. So it's so it's not something that anybody, as far as I know, is doing yet. But it's something we're super hyped about. So
awesome, man. Well, that is like I said, this roadmap was dense. I was gonna flip over here. Sturpizzle, who works with you guys, he had kind of summarized some stuff. I was just gonna see. I think we've just about covered everything, though, right?
Yeah, you didn't ask about farms as a service. I get asked about hey, how does Spooky compete with Solidly Forks? I think that big advantage they have is it's really helpful for meme tokens to get farms, right? They're able to do bribes and get their farms. And I think we've had a farms as a service on our roadmap for a very long time. We had contracts kind of originally written for it for V2, and we didn't deploy it. We're looking at doing farms as a service in either two different ways, either permissionless or we kind of permissioned, like we'll basically streamline our deployment for how we deploy farms, and then we'll just like kind of vet the project, so it's not just anyone that can do it. That's one way we may do it, but then make it easy for meme tokens or anyone to deploy their own farm and incentivize their own liquidity, rather than having to go through the whole bribe and then get a separate token given to incentivize the liquidity, that kind of thing. I think that model works great sometimes, and sometimes all it does is incentivize a complete dumping of all the meme tokens. So that's something we're looking at doing to compete with that model. I think it'll give us an at least on par advantage to compete with that.
Yeah, so kind of like a project will just sort of like load what they want to have emitted for the farm, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like currently, Spooky Boo emissions on Fantom ended this spring, and right now we have really only two farms that have token emissions, and that's Mutsky, who's giving out their own Mutsky tokens, and it's Polter Finance that's giving out their Polter tokens. So it's the same thing. It's like instead of going through two steps where Mutsky or Polter is given to Boo holders and then Boo is given as a farm, they're just going straight to the user, right? So if you can, they have their liquidity, they're getting the Mutsky tokens or Polter tokens directly. So it's bribing the people that do add the liquidity directly.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's super useful. It's kind of like you said, that's, I think, how the V projects have really gotten a lot of volume is, you're able to like offer utility like pretty easy. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you would have to, build out your own DApp and have your own contracts. And,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
sure. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, I think it's super helpful for projects, especially if you're something like a meme where you're pretty much like, yeah, there's not really like any utility. We're just we exist. That's our utility, right?
And I think the annoying thing about that model, that other DEX model, is just that it's a constant churn. You have a constant it's like every week or every 2 weeks you have to redo something. So it adds a lot of like the user doesn't know, like the APRs are changing constantly or the emissions are changing constantly. You're constantly having to manage it with bribes. I think this model, it would be more of like a 3-month rolling thing or something like that. So it's just more of a consistent than having to constantly manage it. I mean, I think that's fine. It's a lot. I'll tell you what, in a bull market, it's a lot easier to manage because you're like looking at your phone 100% of the time. In the bear market, it's like, oh man, I forgot. You don't even want to think about it, right? So
yeah, it's very true. Well, awesome, man. We're getting towards out of time here. Corval, is there anything you wanted to ask or add?
No, I mean, I'm just like really excited to see, you guys have been really hustling. You guys have been working in silence. You guys have been moving in silence like geez, So I'm excited to see all these developments really coming to the forefront, dude. It's making our thesis, Dracula, our thesis that you and I came up with completely independently, and because we're geniuses, that the fall really is going to be a really hot time for DeFi, dude. When Spooky's back in a big way doing all this stuff, it's good.
Yeah, and Spooky's going to be everywhere. I like that. Spooky's going to be everywhere.
I'm going to see Spooky on Times Square, dude. That's what I want to see.
Yep, a giant cat. No, it's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, obviously, most of the people watching here, and all of us. I mean, we're all here because of Phantom, and especially last run, it was like spooky as Phantom, right? I mean, so people I think have been definitely waiting for this kind of update, and I think you guys more than delivered. You over delivered for sure. So
Nice.
Congrats on all the work you've done, and yeah, we can't wait to see this start to unfold.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and hey, watch out for little UI UX updates. We have one right now that we're going to push live either today or this weekend. Just trying to make everything back. We were kind of forced to jump to V3 way faster than we wanted. So we're just focusing on still having the best UI UX in DeFi. So just give us a little time. We're going to catch up.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, really appreciate you coming on. Would love to have you back maybe in the fall week once this stuff kind of starts rolling out. But I think that pretty much is going to do it for today. We're running out of time. We had a lot to cover. So thank you, Owen, for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for watching today. As always, we're streaming at GMSONIC Talk on X, GM_Sonic on YouTube. And you can catch us pretty much anywhere that you listen to podcasts, just searching for GMSONIC. But I think that's it. I got one more show to my vacation, so I will see you, Corval, on Tuesday.
Yeah, and then you guys are stuck in here with me, one-on-one. Yeah, dude. Looking forward to when you come back. Dude, I already miss you, dude. Now, yeah. Oh, this is what I was gonna say, guys. Don't forget, there's riddles in the spooky announcement, so be sure to try and solve.
Yeah,
those.
now we gotta try to. We need someone that speaks Japanese to take a look at this thing.
Oh wait, I already. To be honest, I already deciphered that.
Oh, okay. You're gonna have to share that then.
Okay. Keeping that between us, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, we'll see you Tuesday. Thanks again, Owen and Spooky.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great talking.
Adios, folks.